Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we would be playing around with file handling. So no, we are not talking about organizing physical documents, but we are talking about how to handle files in your computer, how to rewrite them, how to update them, and how to play around with them. So we will be using, or rather we will be playing around with .txt file, as that's like the easiest for you to play around with. So imagine .txt file as the hello worlds of files. Okay, so let's get our hands dirty with some code examples. So first we'll be playing around with opening a file in read mode. So here we have a dummy text that has the dummy lorem ipsum text. And what we want to do is to open the file, display it on our terminal, and close that. So for us to do that, we have to call, we have to open file. So we're going to use the open function. And the name of the file is dummy.txt. That's the one here. And then we will use R. R is the keyword for read. Next, then we have contents, where we are going to read this file. And then remember I said that we want to print that. And then after we do that, we want to close it up. So let's see how this would work. And it displayed the very same text on the terminal. So this is how you can open a file and in read mode. Let's see how we can open a file in write mode. What do I mean by write mode? Let's see how we can change the text within this .txt file. Let's comment this. Clean file in write mode. So we're going to do the same thing. We will open it, and instead of us to use the R, we'll use W, because W is the keyword for write. And then and then we have to call the file dot write function. And then I would say I am writing something to this file, and then we close it. So when we run this, we will definitely replace the text here. Let me just open it up, run it so that you would see, voila, and we change the text. So this is how you can open a file in write mode. So next up, let's see how we can append something to this. Like by appending, I mean, let's see how we can add more text to the dummy.txt file. Let's comment this out. Opening the file in append mode. So we're still going to do the same file where have the dummy.txt, and as I'm very sure you must have guessed, is going to be A, which stands for append. And then we'll do dots write, and I am appending something to this file, but let us write the file on the next line. So for us to write this file, or for us to append it on the next line, we would do this. So this should append it on the next line. And as always, let's close the file. Let's close the file. Okay, let me open the dummy.txt. Let's run. Oh, sorry. So I did not call the right name. So it's dummy, not dummy. Yes, so please, when you are working on yours, ensure that you use the right name of the file. So I run this, it should show this. Let me just do that again, just so you see that it works. Okay, so let's see how to read the file line by line. I heard that this is mostly useful if you have a long data or large data that you need to read line by line. So I modified this by adding more text, but I feel like let me try to make it longer just for the tutorial sake. Remove all this. Okay, so I think this could serve as a large data. So if you want to read that file line by line, so you start with calling your file and then using the arrow word as in read mode, and then what you have to do next is use a for loop. So for line file print line.strip. So the strip function is there to remove any white space in your text. And then you close it. And this is how it is. But if you are not dealing with a large piece of data, I think that just using the read mode is okay for you. So remember, if you want to read large data, use the read a file line by line. If it's a small data, just use the read mode. Let's see how to handle exceptions, like you are trying to handle a file and the file is not existing in your directory. Let's see how you can handle that in a real world situation. Let's comment this out. Need to be handling file errors. So we start this by try and ensure that the file is within the try. So we're going to using data.txt. Data.txt definitely does not exist. Let me just be sure it does not exist. Yeah, data.txt does not exist within the project or within the directory. So after you call your file, we do the content to read it, to print it, and then we close it. But then let's have an exception. We're going to have an exception and we're going to have a file not found error exception where it's going to print, file not found. Take a look at your directory. And since data.txt does not exist, when we run this, we should definitely get file not found, take a look at your directory. But if we change this to dummy.txt, we should be able to see the data within our dummy.txt file. So this is how you can handle file error in your Python project. So let's still give another example. Let's say you want to write to dummy.txt. There's a file here and you want to override that and write your own text. To write your own data, your own text in dummy.txt using the with statement. So you can do this by writing data to file using with statement. So you do this by with open dummy.txt. It's going to be right since we are writing to that directory, and we'll do as file. It's going to be file.write, let's see, name Sophia, um hobby, Python stuff. Sorry. And then we close. So remember this code. We are using the with statement to update the data in this dummy.txt. So I would leave this file open, and then I open the terminal. I run this, and this should override what was already existed in that text. So these are some cool examples that you should take note of when you are dealing with handling files in your Python project. So this will definitely come handy to you when you need to play around with how to read files, how to write files, how to update the files, how to use with statement, or how to override your files. Hey, so if you found this video helpful, useful in your day to day, or you are still exploring Python as a newbie, or you are trying to take this playlist to refresh your mind on Python basics, I would really appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, drop a comment on what other basic concept you would love me to cover in this playlist. And thank you for sticking to the end. So until next time, see you in the very next video. Bye.